So we go to the blue shirt cunt store and I give him my fucking phone. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I have not dropped my phone. I've taken great care of it. Your camera is fucking up. Fix it. And they're like, all right, well, first of all, you walk in there and there's this fucking cunt with an iPad because all of them have been initiated. Dude, that place is 100% a cult. I remember my girlfriend was talking about, she had an Android phone. She mentioned Android in the store and you just saw the person's face glaze over. It's like if you walked into a Catholic church and then you just mentioned that your girlfriend's Muslim. And it's like they don't say anything, but they just go, oh, yeah, one of those, huh? Alrighty then. I know what kind of person you are. Someone who's not on my team. You know, it was like that fucking thing. Anyway, so we walk in the store, and I'm trying to play it cool. Because, you know, I am about to surprise it, but also, main thing, I want to get my fucking phone fixed so I can film some shitty videos, right? So I go to the guy with the iPad. I'm like, hey, man, my phone's fucked. Can you fix it? And he goes, oh, sure. What I'll do is I'll just book you in with an appointment with one of our staff here. I'm like, what do you mean? Book me in? Like, we're all in the same fucking room. Why don't you just say, hey, go and talk to Tom. He's free. Why don't you just point at him? Instead of fucking, like, dude, we went there at like 1 p.m. on a Monday. Nobody was in the store. All of the blue shirt cunts were standing around doing nothing. But then this dude still had to fucking type it into his iPad and be like, all right, so I'm going to book you in with an appointment with Tom, and then he told me to go and sit down. Like, what do you mean go and sit down? He's like, go and sit down there and Tom will come right over. I'm like, no, he won't. I already know that he won't because I know your fucking system will just be some shithouse made on Apple because we're supposed to prove that our Apple products are used for work and not looking at fucking memes during the breaks of work, right? And I know what's going to happen is you're going to put it in and then it's going to get processed by the system and it's going to send a notification to Tom and he won't fucking look at it because he knows that he's seen someone go up to someone and then sit down at the desk and he's going to go, oh, fuck, that means I got to do some work soon. I'll leave it for 3 minutes. And that is exactly what happened. None of these cunts were looking at their phones, and then one of them does, goes, oh, I guess I better do something. And he walks up to me, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, man, my phone's fucked. Can you fix this? And I don't think that it's me, because I had already decided I was not going to pay for that shit, all right? It was clearly a common issue that happened to all of the phones of my model, and I'm like, I'm not paying for this shit. So he has a look, and immediately I tell him the problem, and I saw in his face, like, you know when you tell a customer service guy a problem, and it's only ever happened to you once, but you see in their face that it happens to everybody, so you'll start talking about it, and they immediately understand what you're going to say. I saw that in his face, so I was like, okay, cool, I'm in the right here. I'm not going to be paying for this, because clearly it's a common issue, which means they fucked up when they built the phone or some shit. So I talked to him and he goes, yep, sweet, I got all of it. Right, so I'm going to take your phone, and then he starts making me fill out some forms, and then at the bottom of the form, it says that it'll be $75. Oh, no, I didn't see that, right? He gives me these forms to sign. I'm like, yeah, my name's Lewis, blah, blah, blah. And then they hid the price somewhere in the fucking form. I didn't see it. And then he gives me this other form. He takes my phone, and he gets me to unlock the phone and then write down my passcode, which was fine, because obviously they need to get into the phone to have a look at everything. But then he gets me to go into the settings and turn off Find My iPhone, which just scared the shit out of me. I was like, hang on, why do you need to turn off Find My iPhone? If you don't know, Find My iPhone, it's like a thing where basically you can go onto your computer, type in your Apple password, and you can turn the phone on from your computer and then use the GPS to actually see where it is, right? In case you lose it. I'm like, hang on, why do you need me to turn that off? What does that have to do with the camera? And he's like, oh, you know, it's standard and we have to do it. I'm like, no. Tell me why you need me to turn this off. Because I'm not saying that you're an asshole. I'm not saying that you're going to do this, but I bet someone has stolen a phone. Someone who works here has stolen a phone and then been like, I don't know, we lost it. and Find My iPhone is turned off. Why do you need to turn it off? If you can tell me why it needs to be turned off, I'll turn it off. And he's like, oh, well, because, you know, it's standard procedure and I can't put it through the system. I'm like, no, I'm not turning it off, all right? I'm sorry. Fix my screen, fix my fucking lens, and you don't, and I'll monitor it from my computer to make sure it's still in your office and it doesn't go for a ride or be switched with another model, which has happened to me before. I remember when I was like 14, I took my phone in because the screen was broken, and then I got it back the second day, and they had just given me another person's phone, like someone else's. It was the same model, it was the same color, same everything, but the information on it and the photos on it was somebody else's. And I went back in the next day with my mum, and she's like, this is not his phone. And he's like, what do you mean? You gave us a Nokia whatever the fuck, and we gave you back a Nokia whatever the fuck. It's the same model. That's the phone. I'm like, and Mum didn't really understand technology, so we just took a loss on that one. But they clearly just fucked us, right? And just gave us someone else's phone. And then the person whose phone that was maybe just got my one. And so it's happened to me before, so I'm like, I'm not turning off Find My iPhone unless you can tell me why. And I just made his job hard, and Jazz is there going, just turn it off. I'm like, no, I'm not going to turn it off. I'm going to turn it off. Next thing you know, the guy's going to go on my Facebook page because the fucking internet code is being disabled and he knows it, and he's going to post a whole bunch of gay porn on my page. I'm going to get deleted, and then my career is fucking over. I'm leaving Find My iPhone on. And I just went back and forth with this guy, and he was just like, I saw him go, you know what? Fine, whatever. And he just put it through, and I won, and I was like, yes, finally, a win for Louis, all right? And then they took my phone, and then I bought my girlfriend the watch. I got her an Apple Watch, which I was really happy to do because I think it was like the first time in at least 2 years when I've actually gotten her something nice, when I've had the money to get her a nice thing. Anyway, then we had to fucking walk around for an hour, and I'm paranoid, freaking out. Holy shit, these guys have the password to my phone. Come to think of it, why do they even need the password to my phone? You can open the iPhone camera and take photos without the password. Why do they need to get into it to look at my fucking camera? You know, usual me, paranoid over dumb shit. And my girlfriend's like, don't worry. I'm like, I'm going to go back and get my phone and then just deal with it. I don't care. Right? And then she's like, no, just leave it with it. I'm like, all right, fine. Let's be reasonable. So then I go back and I find out that they've actually tried to charge me like $75. And so they like, we fixed your phone. Here it is. That'll be $75. And I'm like, I'm sorry? And he goes, oh, that'll be $75 to fix your camera. I'm like, oh, okay. Did I break it? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, did I break it? Was it my fault that the camera was broken, or did it just stop working properly? And he was like, oh, well, you know, I'm like, can you tell that I dropped it? Because I didn't drop it. And he's like, oh, well, I'm like, did I scratch the lens? Is that why it couldn't focus? He's like, oh, well, I'm like, well, I looked it up online, and it turns out heaps of people are having this issue, so that makes me feel like it's not my fault that the lens broke. Makes me feel like it's your fault. Like you built a shit phone. So you should kind of own up to that and not try to charge me for your mistake. And he was like, oh yeah, you know what? You are right. And then he just gave it to me for free. Like they just tried to fuck me. It was just the perfect Apple fucking thing where they know that they fucked up, but they just gave it a go anyway. Like, let's see how many people will pay for this. That's the future of companies, man. That's what they're all doing now, where they just try and see what they can get away with, and anything you let them get away with, they fucking will. And you know what? It works. Like, there were 30 fucking employees working in that blue shirt cunt store, right? And there were no customers, but you know they were still turning a stupid profit. And it's because of dumbasses who go in there to get their lens fixed, not knowing that it's Apple's fault. They think that they dropped it or some shit, and then they pay the $70. Like, the dude didn't even fight me on it. I gave him one objection to paying the $70, and then he was like, fair enough, we'll let you have it for free. And then he was like, he made it sound like it was a favor to me. It's like, dude, you're not doing anything nice. You're just doing what's right. You built a shit phone, fix it for free. Anyway, I gotta stop going there because every time I go there, it turns into a 10-minute rant.